Hi everybody, it's Roll Pal Chuck, and I'm back with a very special G.I. Joe review. Today, we're taking a look at, from the Valor vs. Venom line, this is Snake Eyes. Now, there were several different versions of Snake Eyes released in this line, but this is the one that really caught my eye, and I feel is important in Joe history because this mold, or I said this version, because I mean the mold was used with other figures, but this mold was when I think the first time they started experimenting with enhanced articulation beyond what they had been doing for 20 years or so previous. Um, this figure is your standard black commando Snake Eyes. I want to say it borrows equally from the vintage version 3, the one that had the daggers on its chest, as well as the version 1 Commando. I'm not sure if it's coming across well on camera, but there's really two different types of black plastic here. For the chest on down, you have more of a matte black, where the head and part of the forearms, it's glossy. Basically, where there's the textured pieces is that matte finish as well. There's also liberal amounts of silver on the buckles, visor, down the legs, and there is right here a G.I. Joe logo, which was something they were doing. As you can see, one of the complaints that there's been about this figure, well, I should say this body type, is the arms can't fold flush to the body. Now, I'll be honest with you, really, I mean, look at your own arms. Do they really fold flat that whole time? And it's really only noticeable when you have the arm straight like this. You have it like bent in a little as a relaxed pose. It's not that bad. Now, as I mentioned, this does have some new articulation, or should I say new articulation for the time. Well, first, we're going to start at the top here, ball jointed neck, as was used at the time. Not as freely moving as it could be. Pin and socket shoulders, they give you that full rotation, outward movement. You have a 90-degree bend at the elbow, rotation there at the bicep elbow, and really, for I think the first time, wrist rotation. Moving down, this is a classic O-ring figure, so you have that movement at the waist, and then moving down, you have the jointed hips. Now, unfortunately, the outward movement is limited due to the molded holsters here on its side. I wish those were a bit more functional because they were starting to experiment with functional holsters at the time. 90-degree bend at the knee, no rotation at the knee or anything at the leg, but you have up and down, ankle pivot, but no rotation. So basically the wrists and the ankles are brand new. Now let's take a look at the accessories this figure comes with. Snake Eyes comes with a respectable assortment of figures. Starting us off is this dual sheath with swords, which was very popular at the time. A lot of the ninja figures came with. The swords fit in quite nicely, and easy to be pulled out, and with the wrist you can get some fun poses out of them. Next is the classic suppressed machine gun Uzi that Snake Eyes came with back in the day. Even has the little clip to hook it onto his web gear. Unfortunately, there's no ring, or I haven't found a place to hook it on yet, but again, this was a weapon that was used a lot during the Valor vs. Venom days. It's really nice. And finally, one thing I'm really excited about is this great scoped machine gun rifle. I don't want to say it's an AK-47, but it's something along the lines. And he can get some okay two-handed poses out of it. Again, it's a fun weapon. And I think I first noticed this when it came with the Underwater Trooper in the 25th anniversary line. So not the plethora of accessories, like in the Pursuit of Cobra line, but like I said, a respectable amount. Geared up and ready to rock, Snake Eyes is a fun figure. Um, Mold limitations aside, with the arms and those molded holsters aside, I think this is a fun figure. I don't know how well it sold. I mean, during Valor versus Venom, G.I. Joe was doing okay at retail, so I don't know how popular it was. Also, I can see with the molded holsters, it would have a hard time working with the vehicles, some vehicles, where he wouldn't have enough room to fit in the cockpit. But really, this Snake Eyes was made for ground assault and stuff like that, or throw him on the Ninja Cycle, which came with another version of Snake Eyes. Yeah, this early 2000 period, that's when Hasbro started to get real crazy with the Snake Eyes, Dukes, Cobra Commanders, Storm Shadows, etc., etc. I got this figure off of eBay. I've actually had it for a while, maybe a year or so. Um, I think I paid around $13 for it, and that's pretty much what I think it's worth. Keep in mind it is an O-ring figure, so at some point that O-ring is going to dry out and combust, and I'll basically have a Snake Eyes in two parts. But that's the name of the game sometimes. This is your old pal Chuck for Snake Eyes. We'll see you next time.